I was tired of my clamps piling up in the corner and decided it was way past time to get organized. I didn't want to be limited by a design that was going to be outdated as soon as I got a couple more clamps, so I was really trying to think of how I was going to make it universal and flexible. While I was thinking about that, I decided that I was going to combine two other organization projects in my shop, my future tool wall utilizing French cleats and my conduit lumber rack. I started off by cutting French cleats at a 45-degree angle. These will be the base that every clamp rack will latch onto. Every cleat got a light sanding to knock off splinters, but you'll want to be careful not to overdo it here. I'll show you why later. I had to make some room and get my clamps somewhat organized before I could start installing the cleats. It turns out that I have a fairly large collection. To ensure my rack was up to the task of holding the weight, I needed to make sure they were level and screwed to the studs. After getting the first one installed, I could use spacer blocks to make sure the rest were properly aligned and secured. I wanted my individual holders to be about 1.5 inches thick, and since I was just using what I had laying around, I cut and laminated together a few pieces of 1/2-inch plywood. When making holders for my different types of clamps, I would measure the clamp and then transfer the measurements to the holding blocks. In some cases, I made templates when I needed to make multiple of the same holder. Using double-sided sticky tape, I put a small shim on a sacrificial board, ensuring each conduit had close to a 5-degree incline to help prevent the clamps from sliding off. The conduit I'm using is 3/4 inch, but the outside diameter is 15/16. Most drill bit sets won't include a bit this size, so I will include a link in the description. The French cleats are glued, clamped, and screwed onto the blocks. All conduit pieces were cut to about 10 inches in length, giving me the ability to hang 4 K-body parallel clamps on each holder. All that's left is to figure out the best layout for my current collection of clamps. I've completed this project a few months ago and have since learned a few things about my design. The French cleats make this clamp rack very flexible, but it can also cause a few headaches, as there has been a few times I went to put clamps back onto an empty rack and bumped it while going up and knocked it off. Now that I've finalized my general layout, at least with the amount of clamps that I have, I'm going to just put a single screw in each rack into the cleat. That way it's not going to be falling down. I'm not going to have any of those issues that I've been running into. Another one of the issues I mentioned earlier is to try not to sand the cleats too much. This spot was sanded a little too much and the French cleats slip off as soon as a small amount of weight is applied. Making the individual blocks a little longer would probably help out with this, but driving the screw into the cleat will also work. Hopefully this project has given you some ideas on how to better organize your shop. If you have any tips, questions, or suggestions, please leave a comment down below. And as always, please thumbs up, share it out to your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.